Welcome back to the legend. This is the second part of the story about the 12 labors of Heracles, a journey of strength, suffering, and redemption. The seventh labor, the Cretan bull. After the air of Lake Stymphalus had been cleansed and the people of Arcadia had found peace, Heracles returned to Mycenae. But Eurystheus, still consumed by hatred for the hero, devised a task that demanded not only strength, but courage, to travel far across the seas and bring back the Cretan bull, a creature embodying the arrogance and pride of King Minos. This was no ordinary bull. It had been sent by Poseidon himself, a gift of the gods, intended for Minos as a sign of his authority. But Minos refused to offer the sacrifice or leave the bull in the temple of the sea god. The bull grew furious and began to destroy everything in its path. Its roar shook the cliffs, and its hooves shattered the earth, as if the land itself sought to reject the king. Heracles crossed the sea by ship, guided by the winds, and reached Crete. The island was filled with a strange silence and tension. Shepherds hid, and the people watched in terror as the creature roamed the mountain valleys. When the hero saw the bull up close, he realized that brute strength alone would not suffice. Cunning was required. He ambushed the monster on a narrow cliff and suddenly seized it by the horns. The bull thrashed, its hooves slipping on the rocks, but Heracles did not let go. He wrapped his arms around the beast's shoulders and managed to subdue it. On the return voyage across the sea, the bull thrashed and broke ropes, threatening to dash the ship against the rocks. Heracles held firm, balancing to avoid being swept into the waves with the beast. His hands were bloodied with scratches, his muscles straining to the limit, but his will and intellect would not relent. When he returned to Mycenae, Eurystheus was once again terrified. "Release it," cried the king. "It is too strong." Heracles partially obeyed. The bull was displayed to the public as proof of his labor, and then released to roam freely. From that day on, it wandered the fields of Crete, symbolizing pride subdued by a man stronger than any beast, even one sent by the gods. The eighth labor, the mares of Diomedes. After the Cretan bull had been subdued and released, Heracles had grown accustomed to harsh roads and ruthless monsters. But Eurystheus, wishing to set an even more cunning challenge, demanded that he capture the man-eating horses of Diomedes, king of the Thessalian lands. Diomedes was no ordinary man. He was cruel and unscrupulous. His horses were fed on human flesh, and the beasts, accustomed to bloody fare, would burst from their chains, threatening anyone who dared approach. It was said they could tear a hunter to pieces before he could knock an arrow or throw a spear. Heracles journeyed to Thessaly, crossing mountains and rivers. Along the way, he observed ordinary people. Shepherds hid, children wept, and in their eyes he saw the fear inspired by the tyrant king. He understood that here, victory over the beast was not only physical, but moral as well. When the hero reached Diomedes' stables, the animals lunged from their enclosures. Their cries were wild, their eyes glowing red. Heracles realized that sword and strength alone would not suffice. So he used cunning. He issued a challenge to Diomedes. "Give me your horses, or see them turn against you." Diomedes, laughing to mask his anger, accepted the challenge. In the ensuing chaos, Heracles seized the strongest horses and then placed Diomedes himself into the feed meant for the beasts, as they had once been fed humans. The animals fell silent and calmed. The cruel master became their meal. Heracles led the horses away from the palace and brought them to Eurystheus. But even then, the king feared the hero's power. He wished the beasts to remain under his control, not roam freely. Heracles, as always, released them into a safe place. demonstrating that justice outweighs fear and authority. For the first time, the hero proved that victory over cruelty and evil requires not only strength, but wit, courage, and the ability to turn cunning into a tool of justice. The labours grew ever more difficult. Now Heracles fought not only monsters, but human cruelty, sometimes far more terrifying than any beast. The ninth labour, the girdle of Hippolyta. After the mares of Diomedes had been subdued and justice restored, Heracles returned to Mycenae. Yet Eurystheus, ever envious and cunning, demanded another labour, one that required diplomacy, courage, and the ability to confront both mortal and divine. Beyond the lands of Thrace, he said, dwell the Amazons, fierce warriors led by Queen Hippolyta. She possesses a girdle, a symbol of her authority, given by Ares himself. Bring it to me. Heracles set out across seas and mountains, and at last arrived in the land of the Amazons. The warriors welcomed him cautiously, wary of the strength of a son of Zeus. Hippolyta herself came forward, regal and unyielding, yet with a spark of respect in her eyes. "I know why you come, hero," she said. "But know this, my girdle is not given lightly." Heracles spoke with honesty, explaining the command of Eurystheus, and surprisingly, Hippolyta agreed to give him the girdle, impressed by his honesty and courage. Peace seemed possible, yet Hera, ever jealous of Heracles' fame, sowed distrust among the Amazons. Rumours spread that the hero sought to harm their queen. Chaos erupted. The Amazons attacked, and Heracles was forced to defend himself. With strength, skill, and restraint, he subdued the warriors without killing them, and claimed the girdle. Returning to Mycenae, he presented it to Eurystheus, who once again tried to diminish the hero's feat. "You did not win by strength alone. The Amazons yielded to you." But Heracles knew that some battles require more than brute force. They demand honor, wisdom, and the courage to act justly, even amidst treachery. Thus ended the ninth labour, a triumph of diplomacy and valor, showing that not all victories come from bloodshed, and that a hero's might is matched by his wisdom. The 10th labour, the cattle of Geryon. After returning with the girdle of Hippolyta, Heracles faced yet another task, one that would test his endurance and courage over vast distances. Eurystheus commanded him, "Travel to the western edge of the known world, to the island of Erythea, and bring me the cattle of Geryon, a giant with 3 bodies joined at the waist, whose herds are unmatched in size and strength." Heracles journeyed across deserts and seas, enduring scorching sun and biting winds. He crossed lands unfamiliar and hostile, where few dared to tread, guided only by his resolve and the will of the gods. Upon reaching Erythea, he saw Geryon's herd grazing under the watch of a monstrous herdsman and a 2-headed dog, Orthrus. Heracles struck swiftly. He killed the herdsman and the dog, then faced Geryon himself. The giant, with 3 torsos and immense strength, fought fiercely, but Heracles, wielding his mighty club, defeated him. With the cattle secured, Heracles began the long journey back to Mycenae. Along the way, he encountered storms, barren lands, and threats from other men who coveted the prize. Yet nothing could sway the hero. He guided the herd safely, protecting the animals as if they were part of his own strength and honor. When he finally presented the cattle to Eurystheus, the king recoiled in fear. "Take them away!" he cried. "They are too powerful." Heracles had once again proven that a hero's endurance is measured not only by his strength, but by his ability to overcome distance, danger, and the relentless trials of fate. Thus ended the 10th labour, a journey that spanned the edges of the world, a triumph over giants and obstacles alike. and a testament to Heracles' unmatched courage and perseverance. The 11th labour, the apples of the Hesperides. After returning with the cattle of Geryon, Heracles faced a labour that tested not only his strength, but his cunning and perseverance. Eurystheus commanded, "Beyond the lands of men, in the far west, lies a garden guarded by the Hesperides, daughters of night. There grow golden apples, gifts of the gods. Bring them to me." Heracles journeyed to the ends of the earth, crossing mountains, deserts, and seas. No ordinary path awaited him. Dangers lay in every shadow, yet he pressed onward, guided by courage and resolve. Upon reaching the sacred garden, he found it guarded by a 100-headed dragon, Ladon. The beast's eyes burned like fire, its coils were as strong as iron, and its breath was poison. Heracles, using both strength and cleverness, managed to slay the dragon, sparing no hesitation. The golden apples, shimmering in the sunlight, were finally within his grasp. Yet another challenge awaited. The garden belonged to the gods, and taking its treasures was not a simple task. Heracles sought counsel from Atlas, father of the Hesperides. In exchange for holding the heavens for a short time, Atlas retrieved the apples for him. With the apples in hand, Heracles returned to Mycenae, careful to honour both the gods and his mission. Eurystheus received the apples with awe and fear, yet Heracles knew the true lesson. The greatest labours are not those of pure strength, but those that require patience, wisdom, and the courage to confront the unknown. Thus ended the 11th labour, a journey to the edge of the world, a triumph over guardian and god, and proof that a hero's might is measured by both mind and muscle. The 12th labour. Cerberus. After returning with the golden apples of the Hesperides, Heracles faced his final and perhaps most fearsome labour. Eurystheus commanded, "Journey to the underworld itself, and bring me Cerberus, the three-headed hound who guards the gates of Hades." Heracles, undaunted, descended into the realm of the dead. Shadows of the departed stretched endlessly, and the air was thick with sorrow and silence. Yet the hero moved forward, guided by courage and the strength of his purpose. Before the gates of Hades, Cerberus waited. 3 heads, each snapping with fangs like iron, eyes glowing with fire, and a tail thrashing like a serpent. He was a creature of nightmares made real. Heracles did not falter. With calm and precision, he wrestled the beast, using neither sword nor spear, but sheer strength and unyielding will. Hades watched silently, impressed by the hero's courage. "Take him," said the god of the dead, "but harm him not." Heracles brought Cerberus to the surface, a triumph not only of strength but of courage, restraint, and respect for the natural order. When he returned to Eurystheus, the king was struck with fear and awe. "He is too powerful," he exclaimed, trembling. Heracles released Cerberus back to Hades, completing the labour without shedding unnecessary blood. In doing so, he showed that true heroism is not only conquering monsters, but mastering oneself, respecting the balance between life and death, and facing the darkest fears with courage and wisdom. Thus ended the 12th labour, the final trial of Heracles, marking the completion of his legendary journey. He had faced monsters, gods, and human cruelty, yet emerged as a hero not only of strength, but of intellect, courage, and justice. The tale of Heracles would echo through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of a hero who fought for order, honour, and the triumph of human spirit. The labours of Heracles cannot be viewed as isolated stories. They form a complete mythological cycle, reflecting the hero's struggle against chaos, death, and human weakness. King Eurystheus was not merely a royal agent of the gods. He symbolized human envy and fear of power, serving as a mediator through whom the gods tested mortals. His demands seemed humiliating and cruel. Through him, the myth illustrates that the hero had to fight not only monsters, but also the misunderstanding and fear of those around him, the rule of the weak over the strong, who seek to diminish the hero's strength and achievements. Hera, the eternal adversary of Heracles, motivated his labors through hatred and jealousy. She was the cause of the madness that led to the death of his family, and the instigator behind several labors. She whispered to the Amazons, incited Diomedes, and intervened in the affairs of the Stymphalian birds. Her role demonstrates that great trials arise not only from the external world, but also from human conflicts with the gods, who tested human endurance and morality. Why 12? The number 12 is symbolic in mythology. It represents completeness, cycles, and harmony. The 12 labors of Heracles are not a random collection of challenges. They create a full portrait of the hero. A struggle with the earth, lions, hydra, stables, water, Cretan bull, Gerion's cattle, the sky, Stymphalian birds, human cruelty, Diomedes, Hippolyta, and death, Cerberus. The symbolism of 12 recurs in other myths and religions. 12 Olympian gods, 12 months of the year, 12 zodiac signs. This emphasizes the cyclical, orderly nature of the trials, with each labor serving as a step toward the hero's apotheosis. The labors of Heracles are not merely tales of strength. Each trial is a symbolic struggle against chaos, human weakness, fear, and death, as well as a demonstration of moral and physical endurance. Heracles teaches that strength without reason and patience is useless, while cunning and respect for laws, people, and gods make a hero truly great. Thus, the 12 labors of Heracles represent the complete journey of a hero, passing through earthly, divine, and moral trials to establish order, harmony, and honor, becoming a symbol of humanity's eternal struggle with the world and with itself. Thank you for watching this video until the end. If you enjoyed it, please support the channel. Give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss new videos.